So earlier this year, when we got the Pokemon Presents that happened for Pokemon Day 2025 back in February, one of the surprise announcements that was inside of this presentation was Pokemon Champions. Now, Pokemon Champions looks to be a battle simulator type of game, kind of like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Battle Revolution, where it's just going to be focused on having really heated battles, but a lot of people have even speculated that this could be kind of the direction that the Pokemon scene is going to be moving to when it comes to having competitive battles and VGC. Now, having a Pokemon battle focused game like this has been something that people have been asking for the longest time. I mean, ever since like Pokemon Showdown started many years ago, people have been asking for some type of game like that where you can just have Pokemon battles really easily against people and just have that be the game where you're really focusing on all of the competitive stuff, but it just seemed like the Pokemon company was never really going to do that and always have it be integrated into like their newest generation games. But Pokemon Champions really seems like the closest thing now to a Pokemon Showdown type of game happening officially, but the thing that I've been really wondering is why are they choosing to do this now? Like I said, people have been asking for this for so many years, but what made the Pokemon company finally decide to give us like a battle simulator type of game right now? And well, it turns out the answer for this has actually been right in front of us the whole time, and it actually makes perfect sense now for why they're doing this, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about inside of this video. Now, if you just care about the answer so that you can click off the video, the answer is because of Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, you might be thinking, Aero, how does Pokemon Legends ZA relate to Pokemon Champions existing? Well, that's what I'm going to go into now and give you guys the full explanation, because I'm actually very confident, like 99.9%, that this is really the reason why Pokemon Champions exist, and there might be a couple of other variables, but definitely this had a major part in it, because once you start really thinking about it, it just makes perfect sense. So to understand this, when Pokemon Legends ZA was announced, what was the thing that they teased at the very end of that reveal trailer, right in the last couple of seconds? It was the Mega Evolution symbol, signifying that obviously because this game is in Kalos, Mega Evolution is going to be returning. Now, I think you would have to be really stupid to think that Pokemon Legends ZA is going to release and there isn't going to be a single new Mega Evolution inside of this game. This is obviously one of the biggest things that is going to be inside of it that's going to get so many people excited and very hyped, because people have been asking for new Mega Evolutions and new Mega Pokemon for so long, and this is now finally an excuse to be able to get Mega Evolutions to return, to be able to go back to the Kalos region and have multiple new Mega Pokemon. In fact, there's already even supposed credible leaks from like that major Game Freak hack that happened last year, where it seems like somebody had like an early access build of Pokemon Legends ZA and even leaked a lot of the new Mega Pokemon that are going to be in it. So I might even make a video about that if you guys are interested to just learn about all of these new Mega Pokemon, or at least a lot of them that are going to be in this game. So now you might be wondering, well, how does this relate to Pokemon Champions? And well, in order to understand that, the first thing that you need to realize is that every single new Pokemon that is ever created by Game Freak and added into a game has always been made with the intention of you being able to use that Pokemon in battle or online against your friends or something at some point eventually. There's never going to be a Pokemon that they're going to create where they're going to be like, you're never going to be allowed to use this Pokemon in battle against your friends or being able to use it online or anything. It's always going to come at some point, and the best example for this is with Pokemon Legends Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus introduced so many new Pokemon that are really cool, like Hisuian Braviary and Ursaluna and all of these other really cool Pokemon. And the thing is, that game doesn't have any type of player versus player mode. You can't do any types of battles against your friends locally or even online. But you can actually use these Pokemon in Generation 9, because we saw with the very first trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they showed a Hisuian Zoroark inside of the game, because you are in fact going to be able to use Pokemon Home to still be able to transfer those Pokemon into the Generation 9 games, and there's even things that they introduced for these Pokemon that didn't happen in Pokemon Legends Arceus, so like a lot of these Pokemon already have abilities as well, which abilities weren't a thing inside of that game, so you can see that they've already even been designed so that they can be used online. And of course, this same thing will also apply to all of the brand new Mega Evolutions that are going to be introduced in Pokemon Legends ZA. However, there is one little issue. Mega Evolutions are an entire mechanic. It's different from something like a Hisuian Pokemon, which is just a new form, because you can just have a new form, as that's separate from like a Zoroark and a Hisuian Zoroark. They're two different things. But a Mega Evolution isn't separate from its own Pokemon, it is literally that Pokemon turned into the Mega Evolution. What this means is that you can't just do what you did for Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you could transfer all of the new Pokemon into Pokemon Home and then bring them into the latest game with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because this is an entire mechanic, which means if you wanted to bring this into a future Pokemon game, you would have to bring back Mega Evolution so that you can activate Mega Evolution in order to be able to use these brand new ones online. And the chance of this happening is something that I feel like is very unlikely, because we've already seen that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak don't really like to bring back previous gimmicks that they've already done inside of a new generation, and they've only ever done this once. So obviously the first time that we had a gimmick like this was with Mega Evolutions in Pokemon X and Y, but then moving into the next generation with Pokemon Sun and Moon, we had Z moves, which was the new gimmick of that game. However, they did actually bring back Mega Evolutions into the post-game, where they said that the Z ring that you had for being able to use Z moves could also allow you to be able to use Mega Evolutions. And we didn't get any new Mega Evolutions, but you were still able to use the old ones and all of the ones that existed inside of that game. However, when we moved to Generation 8 with Pokemon Sword and Shield, we of course got the new gimmick of Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing your Pokemon, but when it comes to previous gimmicks, no Mega Evolutions and no Z moves. And most recently with Generation 9 and Scarlet and Violet, we got the new gimmick of terastallizing your Pokemon and turning them into like these crystallized forms, but what happened to the previous gimmicks that we've had up until then? No Mega Evolutions, no Z moves, and no Dynamaxing inside of Gen 9. And so more than likely Generation 10, when that comes out next year, is also going to have some type of new battle gimmick or gameplay mechanic that's going to be introduced, and when it comes to previous mechanics, I'm betting no Mega Evolutions, no Z moves, no Dynamaxing, and no terastallizing. And so if they're pretty much never going to bring back a previous mechanic like Mega Evolution into kind of just a traditional main series new generation, then how would these new Mega Pokemon that are going to be in Legends ZA ever get to be used online? They can't, and so the only way that they can do this is to then have a separate game where you have all of the mechanics, like what we saw inside of the reveal trailer for Pokemon Champions, where they tease that you can be able to do Mega Evolutions versus a terastallized Pokemon, and so you can have all of these gimmicks here, and now you can transfer all of the Pokemon into that game, and since that game is just about having battles, you can freely use all of the Mega Pokemon and being able to have battles against your friends. It makes perfect sense because now they don't have to worry about bringing back Mega Evolutions into a future generation or a new game so that they can have these new Mega Pokemon be used, and this also applies now to all of the other old gimmicks where we could have like another Pokemon Legends game at some point where it focuses on Alola or something, and they could introduce new Z moves, or they could introduce new Dynamaxes one day, or even new Terastallizing or whatever, and they can have all of those be added into Pokemon Champions with an update, and you can still have all of those new mechanics intertwined with all of the other ones, and you can have like the customized rules and you can set for like whatever gimmicks you want on, whatever ones you want to have off. And the Pokemon Company, if they want to have like the VGC and competitive battles move to this, they can have certain gimmicks be activated for like certain seasons and stuff. It makes perfect sense, and it is honestly the best and most genius solution to be able to have all of this work. And so I am very sure that this was one of the major reasons why Pokemon Champions decided to exist now, is because they wanted to do this with Pokemon Legends ZA, and obviously having new Mega Evolutions, these Pokemon would never get the opportunity to potentially be used in an online format if we never had something like Pokemon Champions, because the chance of Mega Evolution ever returning into like a Gen 10 or a Gen 11 is extremely unlikely, and I don't think that it'll ever happen, but because of Pokemon Champions, it doesn't need to anymore. And so yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely gonna have some more videos talking about Pokemon, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think that this makes a lot of sense now for why Pokemon Champions exists now? Do you think that it could be something else? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about it, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.